Welcome, everyone, to the Open Channel podcast, where we share through conscious conversation the invitation of further embodiment of unity and higher states of conscious awareness. I'm Shauna Green.
And I'm Julie Stevens. Welcome to this co-created space for people who want to connect and remember the core essence of who they are. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so grateful to have you here with us.
So welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome. Here we are.
Another day.
Another round of staggering energies coming in.
Yes. It has been, I think I was just saying to you, Julie, that it feels like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride out there from Disneyland. Yep. It just feels like there are all these ups and downs, and we're just holding on and bumping along together in the car, around all the turns. And
it's incredibly intense.
Mm-hmm.
So much is being asked of us to be present with all the little things, It's just it's such an incredible transformation that's happening. Just witnessing it is it's just mind-blowing.
Every day is filled with so many new surprises. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like some of the messaging is coming through with more clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do writing in a journal,
mm-hmm.
and I feel like there's more specificity coming through.
Mm-hmm.
with messaging. And I don't know if that's just the unfolding of the times. Like, is there more high resolution that we're walking into?
Yeah, I believe there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing amount of energy coming in. Yeah. Today's Thursday. Yeah. Just this week, there's, and we talked about this before, there's this, you can feel the lightness
mm-hmm.
that's here. Like if you step into it, and it's that choice of, you're constantly choosing every second.
Every second is a choice.
And everything that you're experiencing, you subscribed to.
Mm-hmm.
You brought that for yourself to shift that, or to learn something from it, so you can move into your true self. So yeah, it just all I can do is laugh. I mean, I've just been laughing. I'm just like, this is just it's
it is.
Yeah, like speechless, right?
Every moment
no
is
words.
Something new. No, I mean, it's true. And it almost sometimes feels like, well, what is there to say? There's just more of the same, but yet we need to keep saying it because, the positivity is here, and we are just clearing energies. And they're still rising up. They're still being met. We're still here as light workers. We're still continuing to hold our presence. And I feel like we're still in the marathon. We're just, we're still chariots of fire in the background. Okay, I just dated myself with that reference, but but the music,
Yeah, but there's an easiness to it now, I feel like. I guess it also depends on where you are. If you're just waking up, you're going to be in a lot more emotion. The emotions are like the initial processing that needs to take place, is because the emotional body is the closest to the physical, right? Like in the aura.
Yeah.
So it can be even more intense for many people who have not faced those emotions that they've been carrying. Yeah.
There's so much that is rising up into our foreground, and we are needing to meet things that we had kind of set aside
mm-hmm.
or had left in our peripheral vision, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of knew they were there and knew that we'd have to come, face them more fully.
Yeah.
But now is when.
Yeah, now you have to. Yeah, you can't.
It's now.
the mind before would analyze and go, oh, this is because of
Right.
that. And there'd be this big story around it.
Now,
But
no.
now the stories are they're just not even making sense anymore. It's just
No,
and it's
they
a
don't make
reflection of
sense.
everything that's occurring out in the world, right? None of the stories make any sense.
They don't make any sense. They don't
So
make any sense. And
yeah.
so much of the middle world that is surrounding us is swirled into those stories. And so there's just this observing of, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like that?
Oh yeah. Nothing adds up. You can just see through everything. Like the transparency is so clear now.
Yes.
It's so clear.
In some ways, it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some systemic things that have come up that, like there's a street that we live on, and there are these, every place that has houses or homes has some kind of rules or rules of no rules for what happens in those areas. And there was a message that came through the other day, an email message. It wasn't like from guides, but there was a person who's been trying to do something that is the guise of it is to help the street, to do
it's
something
always to help.
Helpful.
It's always for your benefit
and the
for your protection and safety.
Yeah. And the way that the email was written was so transparent that it was just a ploy to move forward more of that broken system. And so there, from the perspective of living on the street, there was a response and pointing out that there's this process, right? And the person responded by email in a way that basically named that he was just doing it to try to push through his agenda.
Yeah.
And he was so obvious about it. It was so slimy. And
like there's a desperateness to it. And it's like,
yes.
Yeah. And that's right in alignment with everything else out there. This desperateness to push the agenda and push
the system. I'm working the system, really. That's all this is. And it was so clear.
Yeah.
It was so almost insulting. Like, you're really, it's
like
almost
you're really
like
insulting my intelligence here.
Right.
Like okay.
Who do you think we are?
Yeah.
That kind of like, really? You're really doing that?
Yeah.
So, but I feel like that's kind of, this is not the only example,
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And it's in everything. Just this complete desperateness of pushing.
Yeah.
And you can see it so easily now.
And it's the broken systems, the systems that don't serve. And it's just all the moments like that do is illustrate more fully. It's just more light being shined into the shadowy places and illuminating exactly what's there. All the cobwebs and the,
giving people more and more opportunity to see the truth.
Yeah.
More and more to see. Yeah. Yeah. It's a gift. It's great. It's great. The desperateness is awesome because, that just allows people to see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So wild times.
Yeah. It's really the drama. Just watching the drama unfold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And yet there's so much that is still the complicit nature of some of the behavior with the structures. That there's there is, just there's a structure put forward by an agency and an artistic entity has taken that and plunked it into their little rule book. And then the fallout of that is anybody using the artistic center by default is asked to be complicit with all that. And there seems to be a lot of I don't know, adhesion.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just goes back to, the choice. Everything's a choice. Like those rules, those systems, people have to remember that it's always a choice.
It's always a
Those
choice.
rules are there, but those aren't your rules unless you buy into them and you subscribe to them. But it's a choice.
Exactly.
It's just like, many of us in our generation were rule breakers, we rebelled against rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be a choice, and you have to understand your power of choice.
Exactly.
And it's not just, oh, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that. It's a choice of what you're going to believe in, what you're going to allow to be your rules.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to do this to do that, or in order for me to have, my home, or I have to, have this job and I have to do this. Those are all rules.
It's all choices.
They're all rules that you are making for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So continually choosing is like such a huge aspect right now of a tool for everyone to be using.
Just how to have compassion and have compassion for yourself as you start to see more of what's moving through your reality, because some of these things we don't realize we participated in.
Exactly.
Some of these things
you don't know until you know.
You don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And it's different areas too. Like some areas may be, really obvious to people, and other areas we're not aware of it yet.
Yeah.
And just to have compassion for yourself and others.
Yeah.
As we walk through this.
Yeah. Compassion is like just like little magic fairy dust. You just, it's just like, you could just, everything's okay when you have, when you add compassion to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, the heat is here. The heat of fire in real terms, but in figurative ones. And these are meant to help infuse warmth into our sensibilities and feelings. It is also here to transmute things that no longer serve the planet. And so our flames are here to fan our spark and to help spread the warmth through our systems, but it is not the harmful destruction that seems to be the picture you see in news or TV. Yes, some of Gaia is transforming, but there is much life in those areas of flame affected growth. There is a new energized state happening in those areas that will continue to evolve to help serve the planet. The amount of energy moving through the planet and through Gaia is helping shift things at a more rapid pace. And sometimes this results in incendiary notions in both literal and figurative terms. But do not be fooled by these flames. They are here in service. It may seem scary and they may seem quite fear inducing, but there is so much to gain from the actions happening on the planet all over the world with the fire and its ceremonial tool in helping the planet awaken. Elementals are here in guiding these forces and in supporting Gaia in her transformational shift. Understand that these times are unprecedented to you, but the plans have been in place a long time. And Gaia is merely creating the new world for all to receive. It is not a place or time for fear and worry. It is not the intent. The intent is safeguarding the true nature of the planet, the universe, and what we're all here for. These times are for the growth and benefit of the planet. And you all participate, we all participate in the transformation together as a collective, as a oneness in our beliefs, our values, and in our shared compassion in the awakening process. We appreciate all the work you're doing. We understand that perception is a part of your journey. So we are here to help you know more about that perception and understand the elemental influence in the transformational process.
I was getting very similar information as you were just speaking. It was amazing. Yeah, and we're the micro of the macro, right? So that same transition, that same fire of transformation is happening within us, and we're each individually contributing to that. It's all one and the same, right? It's that same thread of the spiral. It's just we're at a smaller point in that whole connection. Yeah.
The vortex is
Yeah.
moving all energies faster and more tightly wound. It is a pull that has a greater force and trajectory than you may have realized. And its upward movement is perhaps startling, but is the rate of ascension that is accelerating exponentially. So slowing down is not really going to happen. It's more acceleration ahead for benefit again, but be aware that surprises are in store, some with beautiful, joyous, paradise like outcomes. So there is a light for you to hold in your knowingness. There is a brightness you are continuing toward as you continue to move through fiery days and moments.
Yes, and where you are on this vortex is not really what is important. They are just timelines moving and jumping. And because there is no time, you are still progressing on this vortex. And the shift doesn't matter when, it is inevitable that it will happen.
Lightworker, you are such a beautiful creation. And the exquisiteness of your cellular makeup and transformation of those cells is an unparalleled wonderland of science and miracle. There is the duality of the oneness of those factors. There is a partial understanding that perhaps exists out there, but if you could only see the miraculous nature of the light moving through your cells, the wonder would impress and amaze you. Just know that that exists. We wish a microscope existed that could illustrate what we say, but we represent to you the miracles you have unfolding within you right now.
I'm seeing, just as we were saying, the micro that we are, I'm seeing that it all the way down into the cells, that fire of transformation all the way down into the cells. Yeah. And there's a lot of electromagnetic energy. I've noticed an increase in that the past week or so. I don't know if you've felt that. Just
Yes.
Complete buzzing in the feet.
Yes.
Just intense energy coming in from the earth.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been noticing that too. I was laying in bed the other night and I felt exactly what you described, just immense energy vibrating in the feet, ankles, calves.
Yeah, almost to the point where you can't walk because it has this tingly numbness feeling to it. Yeah, as it pours in.
Consider every angle when you look at a kaleidoscope. And we talked about kaleidoscopes previously, but consider the angles that comprise kaleidoscopes. And that is just a tiny analogy of what angles and perfect sacred shapes are unfolding within you. The light shining through them makes for rainbows of refraction and reflection everywhere.
A time for discovery, a time to discover yourself as these as you open up to your true essence, there's going to be so much possibility and opportunity to discover who you truly are in so many different ways. Whether it's doing something, an activity, there's an opportunity there to realize what you're capable of. If you really tune in, be present, you'll discover so much more about yourself.
The body is a temple, they say. Mm-hmm. And so imagine your body, a cathedral with the stained glass windows and the light pouring in. And this is only a tiny fraction of what it's like within you as you continue to clean each pane and remove the grime and the dirt that has collected that would block that light. The more you help cleanse and remove the film that covers those windows and the light moving through them, the more brilliance and clarity will continue to move through your daily life and messaging and inner knowing.
I'm feeling an intense amount of energy flowing in now. Yeah.
Connecting is beautiful in these times. We know that sometimes it feels like such an individual journey, and it is, but we are all one. And as we connect in our oneness, there is company for the journey, a collective, compassionate community of fellow travelers.
It's really important to be supporting one another as many are going through such emotional, heavy states at this time, so much confusion and unknowing of where their path is taking them. There's so many waking up at this point that it feels like chaos. There'll be an intense more feeling of chaos over the next couple months from people realizing that they need to change, and this will create fear along with it. Just remember that fear is just a low vibrational energy that does not necessarily have intelligence within itself. So again, choosing what you want to participate in, choosing in what rules and limits you want to put on yourself. There are no rules. The only ones there are the ones you participate in. Every experience you have is based on your set of rules, on your set of limits, your beliefs. Start choosing different beliefs. Start choosing what you want to believe in, and allow that to be your reality. As soon as you claim it as your reality, you will shift into that paradigm.
It's interesting that you just said claim it, because what was coming through to me the whole time you were talking was climate. Mm-hmm. And so we're claiming our climate. Yeah. We're claiming what we want to swim in. We're claiming what we want to immerse ourselves in and the conditions around which we exist.
Yeah.
And an overall temperance.
Yeah. And it's again, it's back to the choice. Even, like you're saying, the climate, like choosing how you want to perceive that.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you perceive it affects the reality of it.
And affects the collective as you choose. Mm-hmm. The rippling out of each choice is sending slingshots of energy throughout the cosmos. So know what a beautiful thing it is you do as you choose. linger in the mystery of the choice so you can feel what choice rises up to be met and lean into the future you wish to see.
In
Almost
every
like a
choice.
genie.
Yeah, in every choice, every small little choice. Because they all add up to make the whole. It doesn't, if you think about how many choices you make during a day, it is countless. But we don't really think of it. We think of the big choices, or well, I'm going to go do this, and like you know, if your mind wants to say, well, I didn't have to make that many choices today. No, you made a million choices. It's that powerful, all those little choices. Yeah.
Our choices of gratitude, just in the moments that shock us. How many moments can we go back to gratitude? Because even that choice is an unbelievable gift in that moment, as small as it is. You may not be going anyplace. You may not be making a purchase or creating a new career. It just may be a moment in your house, breathing and choosing gratitude over worry or fear. Each moment makes a difference.
Yeah, and what you're doing isn't as important as how you are being while you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the key, because everything is spiritual. Everything is your path. Doesn't matter if it feels like some menial job or it feels like this is my huge calling. Because in the big scheme of things, that really doesn't matter. You know, your soul, your higher self is not critical on what it is you're doing, but how you are being in that moment. How are you expressing yourself? How are you sharing yourself?
Because it's all frequency. It's all the energy you hold while you do whatever it is. So it's all the resonance you hold. And the resonance of indignance or sarcasm or resentment is a very different place, each of them, different resonance as we meet the choices in opposition to things like joy and gratitude and peace and acceptance and resolve. Those are all different frequencies, different ways to hold ourselves. So as we meet each moment, how can we continue to remember the choice we have in that moment? Not that we're going to make the choice for all those, you know, higher frequency vibrations all the time. That's not the case at all. And the universe isn't asking us for any kind of perfection in our choices. The universe is simply asking that we continue to hold ourselves with compassion and with the possibility of new choice.
To soften, and that's what I was getting as you were saying that. And softening is that compassion for yourself in every situation. And when you soften your reactions, and your acceptance of whatever emotion it is, there's a dissolving, and everything it just ripples out to everything and everyone around you. So softening can be a gentle way of allowing.
Softening is the heart.
Yeah.
It's bringing the heart into what is going on, no matter what that is. And that softening, that dissolving is transmuting. It is taking apart the energies that had come in and allowing them to be melted into something more tender, alive. I'm feeling a lot of energy come through.
Yes, me too. Yeah. I feel like there's you know, this week there's been all these new energies coming in and new light codes, and you know, even this just before we got on, I went outside and I was in the grass barefoot, and my guides were like, okay, just take a minute here. Like, pause, take a minute here. The sun was shining down on me, and it was just like the waves that came through my body down into the earth were just so powerful and unmistakable. So I feel like that's coming through again, and maybe we can all just, put our intention to allow that to happen as we're sitting here.
I feel them through my feet and ankles buzzing right now.
Yeah.
Down through the floor.
Yeah.
Opening to the center of the universe's guidance and to the center of the planet. Feeling the energies moving down through your frame, down into the layers, down into the crust, down into the core. Allowing your body to simply exist and breathe in receiving whatever comes through to you.
And it's interesting that when you pay attention, it's our language obviously is no accident, right? So when you pay attention, you're paying your conscious currency to whatever you put your attention on. So to notice what you give your awareness to, what you give your conscious currency to, what you focus on. As you pay attention to what is coming in your body at this time, you're giving it more energy, you're giving it more intention, you're allowing it to come in even further and deeper.
There's even more coming through.
It feels almost like a blessing in a way.
Yeah, my feet and ankles are just waves and waves of energy. It's interesting because often it's my hands and arms, but not today.
Yeah, and I keep getting, and I'm hearing it now that, we've done it. We've done it. We don't need to strive any longer or have the mentality that we have to strive or to work hard. That is gone. That is done. It is all ease and grace from here, if you allow it to be that way. Often we're caught up in our old patterns of thinking things have to be hard, or I have to do this, and if we have to work hard, and that's not the case anymore.
This is not paying your dues.
Yes.
There is no paying of dues or taxes or tariffs. This is not that kind of process. This process is one of gratitude and grace and thankfulness and letting go, releasing, allowing to flow through you what has always been meant to come through you. Just allowing the fullness of who you are to be embodied in your physical form, directed through you from your higher self, from source, with you as the instrument of these energies. Allowing the brain to release its hold on what comes through. Allowing a partnership to form inside you between this inner guidance and whatever the thinking mind is observing. Allowing.
Just letting go what no longer serves you. And often we don't know what that is. And that's okay, just to surrender. Your higher self knows.
Significance. It's important to feel significance in every way, both in what rises up and feels significant, and in the holding of yourself as significant in this process. The significance of what you're here to do matters for the universe. Your role, just by breathing and sitting here feeling this energy, allowing it to flow through you, is significant and signifies so much transformation. The word sign is in there. Feel the signs that move through to help guide your car on Mr. Toad's wild ride.
Yes, and no matter how small, like I'm getting an image of like a feather, even just, moving that feather, which may seem insignificant, is creating shifts throughout the world. Yeah.
Getting the word currency. You know how you were talking about currency?
Yeah.
Currency. That these waves are flowing in currents of energy. And so it is a currency that we are in every way that you can imagine that word.
Yeah, when you start to look at English language and the root of each word, it's phenomenal how it ties together and really shows us and tells us everything we need if we choose to look. And we can find this everywhere. You can find this in nature. Everything is showing us that root, the truth, if you choose to look at it in a grander perspective. There's so much to learn.
Do you remember the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
I think so. It's an old movie, right?
It's many years old, but the father of the main character wants to trace every word back to Greek roots.
Oh, okay.
And so he will trace it back, and sometimes he seems to make up his own version of how those roots connect, but there is a truth in that. There is a connection across languages because there are so many languages, but there's a vibration embedded in the root of that word.
Yeah, and in all the language also ties into astrology. When you start looking at it from there, it's absolutely mind-blowing, the direct connection to astrology and our universe. It's brilliant, actually.
Well, and we've helped create it. I mean, we designed this before we came into human form. This design is part of our own creation, and we've left ourselves all these amazing clues along the way to be collected, like Easter eggs or treasures, little gems, coins of delight.
Yeah, and we're here to go through it and navigate it from a place of unremembering to transformation, and that journey in itself is the gift.
It's like a big treasure hunt.
Yeah. And that's the fun, that's the joy. And we often miss the joy in what is occurring at this moment.
I was just saying that this morning. I was sitting with my guides and remembering, it's like, some joy would be good today. So
yeah,
got to feel the joy today.
Yeah. And again, it's a choice. Always a choice of how you want to look at things. Yeah. Are you going to allow what's occurring to show you something? Are you going to look at it from the negative perspective? Oh, why is this happening to me? Or, oh, I'm feeling this. I shouldn't be feeling this. When really, if you just flip that switch, it's incredible how you can move through that and realize what everything that is occurring is such a gift, and literally is a gift, because when you get to the other side, you're getting closer to that joy, that love, compassion, the peace. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a moment yesterday where it was that kind of moment that you're talking about. I had a million things to do and was trying to navigate based on inner messaging, the path, because of course there are so many things, right? And I had this general sense of what the day felt like it would bring. And then my daughter reminded me about a class that she was interested in doing that wasn't necessarily on my sense of what should happen. But I could see that the energy of that was important to her. And so I just kept kind of leaning into it. There were all these different other factors and commitments that I had made. And the little glimmer of what was important to her kept rising up in that. And so I kept paying attention to that and paying attention to that. And I pretty much ditched whatever my previous idea of what the day was supposed to be, was going to be. And I just made happen what she was interested in.
Yeah.
And the energy that rippled out from that, from her, was such a joy to behold. It was such an unexpected, beautiful thread that wove through the rest of the day, just because of that shift. And this was through, we were navigating just having developed fires, like wildfires that were cropping up nearby. And this was not without hurdle. There were hurdles.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it just reminds me of just what we were saying about the feather. Those little things, they affect your whole, they can change the vibration of your whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what an amazing ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Always looking at how you're choosing to perceive things is a massive tool to transform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an amazing dynamic time, and we're so lucky to have each other to go through it with. Ooh, I'm feeling major light showers.
Yeah.
You feeling
that? Yeah. Well, just as you were saying that, I was just getting ready to say, I feel so, in spite of what you see out there and what, the media will tell you, or what even in social media will tell you, I feel so optimistic. I see like this really bright future and I see it and I feel it. So yeah, it's really exciting. Even though, some people may be like, well, no, this sucks, but it's once you move through that and as this transparency keeps opening, revealing more, and you see more, you realize, I don't have to buy into that anymore. I don't have to pay my currency. I don't have to pay attention to that, because I'm going to choose over here and put my conscious currency here. And this is what I'm going to create. I'm going to create from here. I'm going to focus on what I want, not what is occurring over here. And I'm going to make my rules. I'm going to create my own reality.
Yeah.
Which is what we're all doing. You just have to refocus what it is that you're believing in, or what you're believing is possible.
In each moment.
Yes. Each moment. There is no insignificant moment.
Significance.
Back to that, yeah. There is no insignificant moment. Even if it appears just to be a feather, moving a feather, it can be massive.
Massive.
Yes. So important to remember that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's like, not creating from your past. It's creating from right here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I could sit here and just soak in these energies for another hour.
No.
Yeah, it's when we get on these calls, it's hard not to just want to drop into meditation.
Well, we did that too.
Yeah, but just to like really go deep and just, swim in the energies, and yeah, it feels amazing.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the community of way showers, light workers, those who are continuing to help hold light in these times. We appreciate you, and you're held with so much love.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.